Hi guys, I have got my second record on vinyl and it's Ringo's Sentimental Journey. So in today's video I'm going to be talking a bit about the album as well as the tracks and my personal opinion of the album, and also at the end of the video I have ordered my least favourite out of the tracks. Sentimental Journey is the debut album by Ringo. It was released by Apple Records in March 1970 as the Beatles were breaking up, which is what encouraged Ringo to make the album. The album was going to be called Ringo Stardust before being changed to Sentimental Journey. I picked up this vinyl record secondhand and I'm really happy with the quality of it. It's hardly damaged at all, just slight dent in the corners, but apart from that, I think it looks perfect. Taking a closer look at the front cover here. This is the Empress pub, which was the local pub of Ringo's just down the road from his childhood home in Liverpool. And the photograph is from Dutch photographer Richard Polak. And if you look closely, Ringo is placed at the door of the pub, and in the windows here are his relatives. I have visited this pub before, but I was a little disappointed when I saw it on my last visit to Liverpool because the pub is very different now. It's graffitied at the front and down the side, so it doesn't look like how it does here, which I did feel a little disappointed when I saw that, only because it's taken away how the pub used to look. But still definitely worth a visit, I think, to the pub if you are in the area. And Ringo's childhood home is just down this street here, maybe about a minute's walk from the pub. It's really close. And looking at the back of the album here, we have a picture of Ringo and he's showing us all the tracks on the album. And I also have the album on CD as well. And inside we have a booklet, and there's no pictures in here. It just tells information about each of the tracks. And this actually came in really handy while I was preparing this video. Some of the information about the recordings and the songs, I did get some of that information from this booklet. So yeah, that came in very useful. The album is a collection of old standards, so songs from the 1930s, 40s, there are even some songs from the 1920s on here as well. And they are all songs that Ringo's mum loved and songs that Ringo remembered listening to while he was growing up. Ringo began recording the album in October 1969 after John Lennon had privately told them that he was planning on leaving the Beatles. And after this, Ringo, feeling a bit depressed and not really knowing what to do, he didn't write songs like Paul, John and even George, and so he decided that he would make an album. And so he decided to contact George Martin and ask him if he would produce an album for him. The album was released on the 27th of March in the UK and the 24th of April in the US. A promotional video, which was directed by Neil Aspinall, was filmed for the title track Sentimental Journey, which was shot at the Talk of the Town nightclub on the 15th of March. And this is the building where it was shot, the London Hippodrome. I actually went there last weekend. The album wasn't well received by critics at the time and got some really bad reviews. Some of the stuff that was said about it was that Ringo sung really badly on the album, that it was overly sentimental, embarrassing, horrendous. And even John Lennon himself said that he was embarrassed by the album. But regardless of the bad reviews, Ringo really was ahead of his time, and since then many other rockers have done their own album of standards, including Paul McCartney with Kisses on the Bottom. I will now move on to my personal thoughts on the album. I remember vividly first playing this years ago. I hadn't looked into it. I had no idea that it was an album of standards. So, like with many of us at the time, I was really surprised when I heard the first song. I thought it was completely different. It wasn't what I was expecting, but I was immediately into the album because I happen to really love standards. I love songs from the 1930s and 40s. I've even got CDs of the greatest hits from the 1930s and 40s. So I just generally really like this album. So it really didn't take me very long to get into this album at all. I found the songs catchy, and so I personally really like the album. I also really love the story behind the album. He basically made this for his mum, which I really love. It has that personal touch to it. And I also think it was a good move for Ringo to make for his very first album. He wasn't much of a songwriter, so releasing an album like this, I think it was a good idea for his first album. And they were songs that he was familiar with and used to, so I think it was the right move for him. Now moving on to the tracks, there are 12 altogether, and different musical arrangers were used for each song on the album. The first song is Sentimental Journey, arranged by Richard Perry, who goes on to produce more Ringo records. The orchestral was recorded in the US, and then Ringo overdubbed his voice. The song was initially a hit for Doris Day in 1945. I think that this is a really nice, catchy opening song. I immediately got into this one. It always gets stuck in my head long after playing it, and I also always have to sing along to it. I think that it really suits Ringo's voice, and he also sings it very well, so this one is up there really. I won't tell you my order right now, but it's one of my favourites on the album. The second track is Night and Day, arranged by Chico O'Farrill, and it was apparently the first track that Ringo recorded for the album at Abbey Road Studios. It was originally performed by Fred Astaire and Claire Lutz in the 1932 musical play Gay Divorce. It's been recorded by many different artists, including Frank Sinatra and Billie Holiday. This is another song I really like. It's got this powerful orchestra playing. I think Ringo does really well with his vocals. It's a hard song to sing, and I think he does it really well. The third track is Whispering Grass, Don't Tell the Trees, arranged by Ron Goodwin with a 36-piece orchestra. It was first recorded in 1940 by Erskine Hawkins and also by the Ink Spots in the same year. Another song that was quickly a favourite of mine, Ringo singing it with his softer, dreamy styled voice, which I think goes well alongside the music. The fourth song is Bye Bye Blackbird, arranged by Maurice Gibb. This song was first recorded in 1926. The song was sung by Eddie Cantor, which I found really interesting because I really like the TV series Boardwalk Empire, and there's an actor who plays Eddie Cantor in it, and so I already knew a bit about the singer, and I just found this interesting to know. Paul McCartney also recorded a cover of this song on his album Kisses on the Bottom, and I actually much prefer Ringo's version of this song. It's so upbeat and lively, which I think suits the song more, and I think Ringo does some really good notes in it. It's one of my most played songs on the album. I just really love Ringo's version to this song. The fifth song is I'm a Fool to Care, arranged by Klaus Voormann. It was a hit for Les Paul and Mary Ford in 1954. Another song I like, Ringo is singing it with his softer voice again, and I think the song suits his voice well. The sixth track is Stardust, arranged by Paul McCartney. It's a song from 1927 and was included in the Great American Songbook. It's been recorded over 1,500 times, so a very popular song. But it took me a little longer to get into this track for some reason, but I do think that Ringo sings it really well. I think it is quite a challenging song to sing, and so I think Ringo does do well with his vocals on this track. The seventh song is Blue Turning Grey Over You, arranged by Oliver Nelson. The song was a hit for Louis Armstrong and his orchestra in 1930. Another more lively song with a powerful band. You can tell that Ringo's having a really good time singing this one, and I really enjoy listening to it. The eighth song is Love Is a Many Splendid Thing, arranged by Quincy Jones, and the organ in this song was overdubbed by Billy Preston. The best-selling version was recorded by the Four Aces in 1955. I like this track too. It's cheery and pleasant to listen to. There are some backing vocal singers in this song though, who I feel could have been a little quieter to hear Ringo more, but I still really like the track. The ninth track is Dream, and this was conducted and arranged by George Martin. It was written by Johnny Mercer in 1944 and has been performed by many artists including the Pied Pipers, Frank Sinatra and Roy Orbison. I think this is another song that really suits Ringo's voice. I really love listening to Ringo sing this one particularly. I just think it suits him so well. The 10th song is You Always Hurt the One You Love, arranged by John Dankworth. It was first recorded by the Mills Brothers in 1944. I find this a catchy song, another upbeat one. There's a sax part in this that I really like. I think it's quite a challenging song for Ringo's vocals, but I think he still sings it okay. The 11th song is Have I Told You Lately That I Love You, arranged by Elmer Bernstein. This song was first performed by Lulu Bell and Scotty in 1944 and was later a hit for Bing Crosby. I really like this song. I find it fun and I really enjoy listening to it. I like the orchestra in this one. I find it really quirky. Maybe a song not to everybody's taste, but I think it fits Ringo's personality well, which is one of the reasons why I love it so much. One of my favourites on the album. And the 12th song is Let the Rest of the World Go By, arranged by Les Reed. This song is from the 1944 film When Irish Eyes Are Smiling, sang by Dick Haymes. I think this calming ballad is a nice ending song on the album and another one that I think Ringo sings really well. I am now going to list the songs from my least to my favourite, and I did find this really hard because I generally like all the songs on this album. I find them all very catchy and easy to listen to. Like I said, I really like standards anyway, and I think Ringo does a very good job. He's not one of the most strongest of singers, and I generally think he does a good job. So I'm just going to be looking down here just so I can remember how I've ordered the songs. So at number 12, I've got Blue Turning Grey Over You. At 11, I've got Love Is a Many Splendid Thing. 10, Let the Rest of the World Go By. 9, Night and Day. 8, Stardust. 7, I'm a Fool to Care. 6, Dream. 5, You Always Hurt the One You Love. 4, Whispering Grass. 3, Have I Told You Lately That I Love You? Just really love that quirky song. 2, Sentimental Journey. I just knew that had to be in my top 3 immediately. And number 1 is Bye Bye Blackbird, a song that I never get tired of listening to. Please let me know in the comments what you think to this album and if you've got a favourite song. I also want to end this video by saying happy birthday to Ringo Starr. It is his birthday today while I'm filming this. He's 84, which is incredible. He really doesn't look it to me. I think he still looks amazing. And thank you very much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.